What I'm going to do is unbridle and unsaddle the horse. And what you want to be mindful of always is trying to make it easy on you and the horse to make the whole thing a pleasurable experience. So what I've done, I've led my horse up to where I want to tie him. He's not out there and I got to come back, get my halter and go back and forth, because I want everything to be within reach and easy accessible. So I've led him to here. I'm going to keep the reins in my hand and get the halter. Remember, you want to be safe. See how he's wanting to go away? So I'm going to bring him back. I'm going to put the halter around his neck to begin with, as we did when we were putting the bridle on. Now we're taking it off. So now I've still got control of him. He's not going to run away and make me walk on. So I'm going to take the chin strap loose first and just let it dangle. I'm going to grab the reins in my hand just so it's just a safety precaution, but I'm not going to do much with them. And one thing, if it's muddy or dirty, you won't have them dragging around and stuff. But he's loose right now, so what I'm going to do is slide it over his ears, and I'm not going to grab the bit at all. It's just going to fall out of his mouth. See, he'll spit it out, and that's the best way to do it so it doesn't hurt his teeth and clang against his teeth. So typically what I do, if there's nothing around to hook it, for now I'll just throw the bridle on the saddle horn. It's a good hanging rack. Then I'll go ahead and finish haltering my horse. And again, I'm standing to the side of him with his nose tipped. And if you notice how I've haltered the horse, I run it through the loop, back around forward towards his head, and then I pull the slack back through. And that is the way to halter. So if you do it the other way, bring the end around this way, and slack back through, the loop will tighten up and it's hard to get out. And if you got a lot of loop left, this horse has got a small head, he's a quarter horse, you can stick it right in here and it will be fine. That way it doesn't tend to come around and hit him in the eye or something like that. So I'm just going to stick it here. I don't like a lot of loose ends. So now I'm going to go ahead and tie him up. And if you remember how Mariella tied earlier, she put her hand through and then just started bringing the end through. And Mariella ties a beautiful knot. And there you go. So now I can go do something with my bridle. I can go hang it up or do whatever I need to do. I'm going to hand it to Mariella. So this is the last thing we put on. This will be the first thing we take off. Remember, we're going to do everything in reverse order. So we're going to take the breast collar off. I'll go ahead and buckle it again so that nothing comes off. If I didn't buckle it, sometimes these breast collars will tend to lose this piece. So I go ahead and buckle it to secure it in place. Unsnap it from underneath. I just swing it around and stick it on the saddle horn. Some people will take it and throw it all the way across their saddle. That's just personal preference. I started undoing this. Don't undo this first. Take your back gird off. Then you'll take your front gird off. See, no matter how many times you do it, you have to be aware of what you're doing. And what I'll do normally, you'll notice this saddle has a D-ring. Most saddles do. I'll take and fold it through one time. You can either leave it like this or take it around and tie it in a half hitch. But what this does, it keeps it from dragging the ground. And anything you can keep dirt off of on your saddle, that's less likely it'll get under his stomach and start galling him whenever you're riding, especially on these girts and breast collars. So I like to keep everything up. Now I'm going to walk around and go to the other side, and I'll show you how I pull it up and secure it there. What we've done, we've taken everything loose from the other side. It's just hanging on this side. And Some people don't go to this trouble, but a lot of people do because they want to take care of their tack. And so here's what we want to do. Always take care of our tack and then take care of us. If you notice, I let the stirrup drop right between the front and back girth. I'm going to stick the stem of the front girth through the buckle of the back girth. And then I'm going to take my arm and I'm going to curl it from front to back just like that. And what that's going to do, if you notice when I let it go, it's already going to be curved to the curvature of his stomach. It's not going to have humps and ridges and stuff like that in it. Then once you start all that, it starts flexing and cracking a lot sooner. So, but this is just an easy way. I'll let it go and show you what it's going to look like. You see the natural curve already in the back girth? And what it does also, it keeps it up off the ground. Even if you put it on a saddle rack, it's going to stay up off the ground. So we just curve it around. Most saddles have this leather flapper right here with a slit in it, and you just stick that leather through the D-ring of the front girth and stick the stem of the front girth into the hole. And it stays right there. It's up. If you'll notice, it's even higher than the stirrups. And so it just keeps everything up out of the way, doesn't drag the ground or get dirt in. And so now I'm going to walk around to the other side of my horse. You can jerk your saddle off from this side, but typically the way you put it up is going to be the way you take it off. So I always like to walk around to the other side of my horse, take the saddle off, and put it on the rack. Because then when I go to get it again, I'm going to get it the same way and go put it back on. So that way I'm not doing this when I'm trying to put the saddle on, standing at my horse later on. Okay, you notice I haven't got any stirrups on the horn, so when I take it off, they'll hit me in the head and give me a black eye. But we're going to take the saddle off. You can take the saddle and blanket separate, or you can just take it all in one piece. That's personal preference. I just take it all in one piece and put it together. And that is as simple as it gets, ladies and gentlemen. Happy trails.